Alright, back to the Black Ops 6 beta. I probably should have dropped this video on like the first day of the beta, but I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't even thinking about it. I wanted to run you through my settings and what I like to use in Black Ops 6 because they've changed quite a lot and there are a lot of new options. So essentially, I don't play keyboard and mouse, I play controller, so you're not gonna see keyboard and mouse sensitivity settings here. But I'll be showing controller, graphics, audio, and interface. We'll be going through what I personally like to use and some of the new stuff as well, because there's quite a bit of new kind of like accessibility options to make the movement a little bit easier for old people. But no, I'm just kidding. But if you are new here, be sure to leave, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload another Black Ops 6 video. I have quite a bit of footage for it. And we still got plenty of time left in the beta, so there will be more videos, especially over the week after the second weekend ends. You'll be able to see a lot more Black Ops 6 content as well, because I just have a bunch of stuff piled up. So starting with controller settings, I play on tactical. I always have. I do play claw, but I am used to just sliding and diving and crouching with pressing in the right stick and using B to melee instead. That's just my personal preference. 5.5 sensitivities. You have these simplified settings. So simplified controls will essentially just turn a bunch of things on. It's just an easier option to just put on a bunch of assisting stuff on to make it easier for you. I personally don't use any of them. I don't know if they're really, useful in a way. I feel like once the game comes out and people get to tinker with it more, we'll kind of figure out whether that's actually worth putting on, but I haven't seen anyone do it. Low motor strain is pretty much like the old person setting that everyone's been calling it, because it reduces the amount of physical effort required to play. Fewer inputs are required, sensitivity is increased, and hold actions are reduced to prioritize toggle actions where possible. So it's essentially just doing a bunch of shit for you, and we don't touch that. I used to use the swap bumpers with triggers to where I would aim and shoot with my bumpers. But I don't do that anymore. That's all personal preference. Vibration off, because if your controller's rumbling while you're shooting, it's going to fuck with your aim a little bit. In terms of dead zone, this is what I run. Both maxes you're going to want on 99, not 100, but 99. And usually the rule of thumb is both on left stick and right stick, you want to put it as low as you can without having stick drift by just leaving your controller alone. And then both triggers I have on completely zero so that they're as responsive as I can get them. Now over in aiming, the sensitivity multiplier, I have all on 1.0. Didn't really touch any of that. The aiming advanced settings, the only thing I changed in here is ADS sensitivity transition timing, you want instant, and aim response curve type, you want dynamic, with the scale being 1.0. Target aim assist, you want on as well. They got rid of the extra options to kind of keep everyone on a level playing field, so they kind of nerfed aim assist a little bit. So everyone's kind of stuck on standard. You can't go and choose the Black Ops option, which is kind of a bummer because I always ended up choosing the Black Ops option. I kind of liked the way that felt better, but I've been doing just fine with it being normal. Now, I don't know if this actually helps, but I've seen someone on Twitter go into the motion sensor advanced settings and change the gravity vector to controller and turned, I think, FOV sensitive scaling or sensitivity scaling off. I don't know if that actually helps anything because your motion sensor, the motion sensor behavior is off, but I changed that just in case. I don't know. In movement, this is pretty important. I personally have tactical sprint assist on and the sprint assist delay being on 0 and these two being on. This is essentially auto tac sprint, and it's kind of nice so that you're not constantly spamming your left stick. Now, I'm one that likes to just spam my stick to keep activating tac sprint. But when you have a game with omni movement where you're sprinting, you're tac sprinting sideways and backwards, it's kind of annoying and it's kind of weird. So it's nice to have tactical sprint assist to where for the times that I forget, want to move backward and forget to, double tap the, left stick to activate the tac sprint, it's just automatically doing it because I'm not used to doing that while moving backwards or sideways. I'm only used to doing that while moving forward. So it's like, just have it on so that you're automatically tac sprinting any direction that you move. Makes it so much easier. Trust me, it's worth getting used to. Mantle assist and crouch assist I have off. You can turn these on if, you're interested. If you wanted to automatically mantle when you're sprinting towards a low obstacle or whatever. That is completely up to you guys. Slide and dive behavior I have on tap to slide. I think some people play on hybrid, but I found that I just prefer tap to slide the most. That's definitely something you want to tinker with. Obviously, you're not going to want slide or dive only because you're going to want to do both, because now with diving, you're actually able to aim and shoot while diving, so it's kind of worth actually doing. Auto door peek is kind of a fun one. I personally don't use it, but I know some people will. It's essentially where when you're ADSing while walking towards a door, it'll automatically peek it for you. I didn't touch anything in the movement advanced settings, and then vehicle advanced settings I also kept the same. And the combat advanced settings, I kept all of this the same. I don't know if any of these are worth changing. Everything in combat, I just kept the exact same. Moving on to graphics, I'll in terms of quality, I'll slowly scroll through my settings, but of course, it's going to be different for every computer because, you know, some computers are going to be stronger than others. In here, you definitely want NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency to on. VSync, you always want off. My custom frame rate, I do put to my my monitor's refresh rate. And now I know VSync locks your monitor at your monitor refresh rate, and I get that. But the reason why I turned it off and then set my frame rate limit to that anyways is to reduce input delay. And then everything else I kept alone. HDR, you kind of want off for a shooter. And then I'm using DLSS quality. These are all of my, you know, options. That's weird. It like popped up for all of them. I don't know. That was odd. Frame generation I have off because that does help with a lot of frames, but it just completely like gives you a shit ton of input delay. It's so bad. For a single player game, the setting can be really good, but for a competitive arcade shooter, absolutely not. And I'll just scroll through. You can pause. On-demand texture streaming, you cannot turn off anymore, which is really annoying. But what I found the best reduce, I don't know why it didn't save. Excuse me. Wow, none of it, or the thing didn't save. But you put it to kind of like reduce it at least a little bit. Put it on minimal, your allocated texture cache size to 16, turn on the download limits and put it to 1, so it's like everything's at the lowest setting possible, because then you can't turn it off. And then you can go and copy the rest of the stuff that I have. Then on view, it's cool that they have a motion reduction setting. Something that I've noticed for some reason is if you turn this on, you get the center dot on, which I liked having in Modern Warfare, but I can't find the center dot anywhere else in the settings. So I don't know if you have to have this on specifically, but it puts your FOV to 90, and I don't like that. I like having my FOV at 110, affected both weapon and vehicle field of view at wide. You obviously want motion blur off, and then your first person camera movement you want at 50. The reason why you want it at 50 is so that your screen is shaking a lot less. Inverted flashbang, that's personal preference. If you turn it on, when you get flashed, your screen is going to go black rather than white. Now for audio, I'm running a headphones bass boost, reduce tinnitus sound on, and then hit marker preset at default. That's all personal preference though. And then nothing really crazy in your voice chat settings. Now the only things I did in interface is the telemetry I put on custom, and I have my FPS counter, server latency, and packet loss on. And then in readability, go down to color customization, and I have the color filter set on 2, color filter set on both, and then both of these at 100. Kind of makes things a little bit more vibrant. And then the HUD presets, this is all, I haven't really messed with any of this. I'm sure there's going to be some that are like a lot better. I might end up changing some of this around, but in the beta, I'm just not worried about it. I will do an updated settings video when the game actually comes out, in which case I'll go over what I like using for this, because I will probably end up doing something that stops stuff from being like over at the right side. Or like I kind of want to try having the minimap at the bottom middle. I feel like that would be really interesting. So I'll tamper with it, and then I'll let you guys know in the full game what I like. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's quite a few new settings. Every year with settings, it's the type of thing where like you want to watch a video to kind of get like a template of what settings to do, and then you kind of just experiment and change things as you go. So that's what I like to use. If you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload another video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.